Welcome back, everyone. Dr. Bill Angel's with us from OSU Lima. We're looking ahead to next week in the election time. Okay, we've seen a lot of ads for Vance and Tim Ryan. They've really been going at it. That one's a close one. What do you think is going to happen there?
Well, I think it's a battle over the swing votes, especially Republican swing voters or moderate Republicans, try to get their votes over. And Ryan's really been going after them.
Yeah.
Especially, I think one of the things I expect him to see is to make an emphasis on the Inflation Reduction Act that would reduce drug prices and would force pharmaceutical companies to reduce their drug prices if they raise them above inflation rates.
It was interesting to hear Ryan invoke the name of Trump when he talked about being tough on China. Maybe that's the state of politics today, where you have to. Trump is still there. You don't know whether to say he's on your side or not. But that was interesting to me.
Yeah, and China's in a mess right now. I mean, in terms of the way the economy is going. So it's good for him to make that point.
Yeah, you mentioned Vance is kind of focusing on Dayton, too, this week, huh?
They are, but both of them are going to Dayton. And that seems to be ground zero for the campaign.
Okay.
And I think it has to do with the suburban voters are the ones that are basically where you're going to find the most swing vote is in those suburbs. And so suburbs of Dayton, Cincinnati, suburbs of Cleveland, Toledo, those are the places where they'll visit.
One of the more, somebody said one of the more TMZ races is in Georgia, where Herschel Walker and this Raphael Warnock are going at it. Herschel Walker's defending himself seemingly every day against accusations. When you see that one, and Republicans are still backing Herschel Walker strong, they're coming out, and one of them said he's the moral candidate. This is the fascinating race to me.
But this is the case all over. I mean, the Republicans, when they when Trump has endorsed a candidate, he endorses the wrong person. You know, up in Toledo, there's a candidate running for Congress who should never have been endorsed by Trump, but he's the one who's running. And the same with Herschel Walker, and the same with J.D. Vance. I mean, J.D. Vance was the worst of the options Republicans could have, and so they're having to deal with that right now.
Herschel Walker, I think one of the Republicans that was backing him said he's seen as a strong candidate. Is it maybe that athletic background, that kind of thing, that's the image they want to
Well, they're
project?
hoping the celebrity background, but the celebrity background came with costs, mainly on the abortion question. He looks hypocritical on abortion, and he has never been able to explain it, and it keeps coming up and coming up and coming up. Plus that, you know, he's not that bright. He's not that bright.
I think that if he does win, he'll probably have to keep answering that question, right?
Yeah, he has to have people with him when he goes on the campaign trail to explain what he said.
Yeah.
And that's the problem with Walker. He's a weak candidate, and I think Republicans are going to regret having nominated him.
Pennsylvania is a fascinating one, too, with Dr. Oz, and Fetterman stumbled a bit, obviously, in the last debate, maybe the only debate, I can't remember, but one of the things he has going against him is he had the stroke. People know that. They're wondering about his mental capacity, that kind of thing. I don't think that debate helped him at all, did it?
Except that you have to wonder about the Republicans' hypocrisy on this. They hold Herschel Walker up as a good guy who's overcome his emotional issues and now psychological issues. And now Fetterman, they don't give him the same break at all. In some ways, his was not so much a psychological break as it was a health problem, and he's overcoming it and he's working to overcome it. So if Fetterman can concentrate on that, that's going to be good for the D's.
Dr. Oz, another one of those who we know is a celebrity first. Is that more of a pattern these days, where you don't necessarily have to have a political background? We know you, we've heard from you on other things, and you might be a viable candidate?
Well, you have celebrity candidates, but this has been kind of overload, and it's mostly come at the behest of former President Trump. He likes a celebrity. He sees himself as a celebrity. And so that's the ticket for him. And so they've had a lot of misses on these candidates.
We think so much about these Senate races. There's some gubernatorial races as well. But I heard somebody last night on the news say the races you should be watching are each state's attorneys general. Those are the ones you should watch, because there are a lot of election deniers out there who want their attorney general in there when it comes vote counting time.
And it's not just the attorney general, it's also the secretary of state.
Sure. It's
like Stalin used to say, it's who counts the votes that matters.
Yeah.
and so that's what, and that's a chilling citation to say Joseph Stalin thought of that idea first.
Yeah. We joke a little bit, with just a couple of seconds now, we joke about we don't really think about the election until the World Series is over. Is there any truth to that we won't really know what's going to happen until next week when people
some people, like my friend Harry Johnson, he's going to be watching the World Series. He's not going to be watching the news.
Right.
So yeah, it's like it's irrelevant, I think, to what happens now.
Yeah, a lot of people decide when they walk in.
Yeah, right.
All right, thank you, Dr. Bill. Appreciate it. Good seeing you. Don't go away. Medical news coming up next on Noon Edition.